Welcome everyone to AppleInsider. Apple's iPhone SE was a cult favorite, and it finally, after 4 long years, got the much awaited successor that people have been clamoring for. But is this the successor that everyone was expecting? Here's the AppleInsider review of the 2020 iPhone SE. Now, if the phone looks familiar, you probably already know why. And that's because Apple is recycling a lot of the design of the iPhone 8 here for the updated iPhone SE, which means it has a larger display. Rather than the 4-inch display in the iPhone 5S style body, it's now a 4.7-inch LED display, LCD display, inside of the iPhone 8 body. But why go with the iPhone 8 style design? Well, likely a few reasons. The iPhone 8 is newer, and Apple likely still has a lot of iPhone 8 stock and stuff already running through production, and this matches the current design of the higher-end handset. If Apple would switch to a new flat side for the iPhone 12 Pro, then this phone would look very similar to it. Still, this phone got a lot of nice upgrades, including wireless charging, haptic touch on the display, still retaining that Touch ID home button, better cameras on both the front and the back, and much more. Now, that home button is very important to a lot of people. Some people just prefer the home button, and others just can't use the home button, possibly because of what they're doing for a profession. Like if you're a nurse or a doctor and you have a mask on all the time, it's a lot harder to be able to unlock your phone with Face ID that way, and it just becomes really tiresome. So it's good to have this physical alternative to rely on. The most recent iPhones have all ditched 3D Touch, and the same goes for the new iPhone SE. 3D Touch is gone, but it was replaced with haptic feedback that just still seems a little bit odd. You can't look into notifications on the notification center, for example. You can't 3D touch or haptic touch into them with that long press. You can still use everything else that haptic touch is known for, such as getting that extra information from icons or previewing links, but it's still just not quite the same thing as 3D touch was. I think we're still going to miss that for a while, even though haptic touch is the new norm. Inside of these phones, Apple did not skimp whatsoever. It is using the latest A13 Bionic processor, the same processors that are found in Apple's highest end phones. That include the iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 11 Pro Max. They did drop down the memory a little bit, going with only 3 gigs, but it doesn't seem to have too much of an issue in day-to-day work. Depending on what you're doing, it may or may not be all that important. Do you need to have a million apps running in the background that you can resume instantly? Likely not. And I think people are willing to make that compromise for such a cheaper phone that's still packing such a powerful processor. If we compare these scores to, say, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, they're very spot on. Our graphics score was within only a couple points of one another, and we see the same thing on Geekbench. Here, the iPhone SE 2020 is getting that 1334 compared to the 1330 on the 11 Pro, and we go to the multi-core, you can see it's roughly the same thing, 3305 versus 3324. Now, these numbers vary, and we have got ones as low as 1/3 below the iPhone 11 Pro, but for the most part, they are very within range of one another. One of the biggest benefits of that better processor is the camera. The camera is amazing on this phone, even though it's lacking the ultra-wide and the tele-lens that you see on the iPhone 11 Pro and the ultra-wide that's found on the iPhone 11. There's just that one 12-megapixel camera on the back, but it has a lot of functionality baked in there. Photos look great because of that faster processor. You can do things like use quick take video or switch to recording or burst mode. Videos look amazing. You can do up to 60 frames per second in 4K or 240 frames per second slow-mo in HD. You can see here as our dogs jump down the stairs, just bound over those steps. Slow motion looks absolutely amazing in full 1080p. There is no tele-lens on here, as we mentioned, which can be a bummer if you're trying to really zoom in on something. You're a little bit limited in what you can do, only having a very small degree of zoom. When you do, it starts to get a little grainy depending on your shot, so this is really just for general purpose photos and not really jumping in super close. But people don't do that all that much, and computational photography is going to likely take you the rest of the way there. Apple's going to continue to improve that. We saw big improvements with like the iPhone 10 when it launched, and portrait mode coming as a beta and a subsequent update, and we won't be surprised to see photos and video improving on the iPhone SE for years to come. Overall, especially when it came to video, we were impressed with this phone. This 4K footage here we shot looks great. Slow motion is really fun, and just the fact that you can do such a high frame rate on a cheap phone is outstanding. Now, another great feature here is portrait mode is coming to the iPhone SE. even though there's only one lens on the front as well as one lens on the back. Normally it's using two lenses to create a stereoscopic image and get that depth map, but here it's able to just use computational photography to isolate the subject from the background. And overall, it does a great job. You can apply all these different effects to it. You can even go in and change the aperture opening. So right now it's by default at a 4.8 or a 2.8, but you can drop that down. So you can watch the background of this image, switch over to our aperture control mode, and you can watch that background plant, that palm, as it become more or less blurred depending on how much you're adjusting that bokeh and your f-stop. Pretty great considering there's only one lens on here and this is an entry-level phone. There is a drawback though, and that is with portrait mode and pets, or objects in general. We actually saw this limitation in other phones that Apple's had, like the original, I believe, iPhone XR that launched with portrait mode, but it only worked with people, not pets, not objects. Fortunately, there is a solution. So here we have Mosby. I can't get a great shot. But if I use the Halide camera app, and I'm sure there's going to be more coming down the line, these were just the first ones to support this feature, but I took a photo here in the stock camera app of my dog, Mosby, and you can see it here. This is what it looks like. Notice the background, there's little to no blur. But I take the same shot here in Halide, and I'm able to actually get that nice background bokeh effect. Now Mosby does look a little dopey here, he had a better pose in the first shot, but just looking at the background, you can see my PS4 and some candles going on a blanket. That looks so much nicer when we compare the two shots. Again, here's the stock camera app, no background depth portrait effect at all, and here we are with the Halide app. It does a great job of capturing that depth data and blurring out that background. So it is a deficit that this phone cannot do pets, because that's what we take a lot of portrait modes of, but it is great that you can add that functionality back through third-party apps such as Halide. Even here with objects, it works, just taking a quick photo of a lens. It's a lesser degree, but that background gets more or less blurred as you turn that depth in portrait mode on or off. The iPhone SE is an interesting phone, and one that a lot of people don't really understand. The iPhone SE was never about being a small phone. It was being about the best budget phone that Apple could make, and that's what they've done here. They've prioritized the things that are important, such as the OS with iOS 13 support, and they're including a really fast processor that's guaranteeing that's going to work for years and years and years to the future, and they're focusing on the camera, making the camera that is there the best as possible while leaving off the higher end cameras for the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pros, and you have that whole lineup of cameras based on what it is that you're looking to do. Even developers can include extra features such as Halide with portrait mode for pets. This phone is doing exactly what it was meant to do, and Apple absolutely nailed it. If you want to grab an iPhone SE for yourself, you can find the link down below in the description. Hey everyone, did you guys like that video? Be sure to click on that like button so we can create content that we know that you guys want to see. And follow AppleInsider on all social media channels. If you want the best prices on any Apple gear, check out the AppleInsider price guide that is updated daily. And until next time, we'll see you later.